hotel driven by 4 tiny people. While driving, they suddenly collide with a dog. The dog starts trying to eat their car. The dog's owner tries to save the toy car from the dog. At that moment, the car's door opens, and one of the tiny men falls out. But how did these people become so small? In a house, a brother and sister lived with their father. One day, the boy went to fetch water for his father when he suddenly noticed a peanut butter jar shaking. When he picked up the jar, he saw a tiny man, about 1.5 inches tall, and screamed in shock. Hearing his scream, his sister and father rushed to him. He tried to convince them that he had seen a tiny man, but they didn't believe him, thinking he was just a child imagining things. That night, as he was about to sleep, he heard some noises coming from the storeroom. He went to check and suddenly saw a bright light appear. When he looked, he found his cat had turned into a statue. Then he saw the same tiny man again. At first, they were both scared of each other, but soon they became friends. The boy asked the tiny man to bring his cat back to life. However, due to his incorrect magic, the cat turned completely into stone. Just then, his sister arrives. She is shocked to see the cat turned into stone. The boy tells his sister about the tiny man, and she is equally surprised. When they go out to get a Christmas tree, an old man sees the tiny 1.5-inch man with them and tries to catch him. To save himself, the tiny man casts a spell on him, turning the old man into a giant stone statue. That night, when they go to a hotel for dinner, their father orders a dish they don't like. Seeing this, the tiny man uses magic to turn the food into hot dogs. The hotel staff stops them from eating outside food. Meanwhile, some chaos happens, and the hotel staff locks them in a room. Their father asks how the hot dogs got there. The children then tell him about the tiny man. Seeing this, their father is shocked. Now, they ask the tiny man to help them escape. The tiny man casts a spell and shrinks them as well. When the police arrive to capture them, they find an empty room and start laughing. After leaving the hotel, the children and their father get exhausted on their way home. They grab a toy car from a store and escape. Now, their journey home takes only minutes. However, on the way, they collide with the dog. After narrowly escaping the dog, they manage to get their father into the toy car. To treat their father's injured arm, they go to a hospital, where a little girl helps them because she can understand them. She convinces the doctor to check their father. While sitting in the hospital, they see news about the old man's stone statue near their home. Their father tells them that they need to find a solution soon. To leave the hospital, they hide inside a pizza box. As soon as they get outside, the pizza bike hits a bump, and the little boy jumps to his father. However, the 1.5-inch man fails to make it. Seeing this, Johannes gets upset with his father. Meanwhile, due to the bump, the tiny man falls near a flock of pigeons. Later, he comes back riding a pigeon to pick up the 3 of them. Stopping on top of a building, he tells them that there is no one in his world who can make them big again. Hearing this, the children's father gets angry and starts scolding the tiny man. The tiny man casts a spell to protect himself, which brings the giant statue on the building to life. The photographers present there are shocked to see this. Meanwhile, the children's father slips and starts falling down. As the kids and the tiny man try to save him, they also begin to fall. The tiny man quickly uses his magic on them, turning them back to their original size. The crowd watching them is relieved and cheers in happiness. Meanwhile, people start removing the old man's stone statue. At that moment, the tiny man brings him back to life in front of everyone. Seeing the old man alive again, his once angry elderly girlfriend finally forgives him. Now, it's time for the tiny man to return to his own world. As a keepsake, he gives his shirt to the boy and bids them farewell. These videos are made for your entertainment, so please like and comment on the video.